How do interest rates affect house prices? It's a question that's triggered many debates among economists and real estate enthusiasts alike. Today we're diving into this intriguing relationship, and to do so, we'll be exploring the 1% to 10% rule in the world of real estate. The 1% to 10% rule is a simple yet powerful principle that demonstrates how every 1% increase in interest rates can lead to a 10% reduction in home prices. But why does this happen? It all boils down to the concept of purchasing power. When interest rates rise, the cost of borrowing increases. This means that home buyers can afford less, reducing their purchasing power. To maintain the same level of affordability, home prices need to come down. Let's consider a couple of examples. Say you're looking to buy a house priced at $300,000. At an interest rate of 2%, your monthly mortgage payment would be around $1,226. If the interest rate increases by 1% to 3%, your monthly payment rises to $1,434. That's a 17% increase. To keep your monthly payment at $1,226, the price of the house would need to be reduced to approximately $270,000. Now let's consider a pricier house, say, one that's $500,000. At a 2% interest rate, your monthly mortgage payment would be around $2,043. If the interest rate increases to 3%, your monthly payment would go up to $2,391. Again, a 17% increase. To keep the same monthly payment, the price of the house would need to be reduced to approximately $450,000. This is the 1% to 10% rule in action. It's a clear demonstration of how changes in interest rates can significantly affect house price affordability. Now that we know the rule, let's take another look at a scenario that is more reflective of our situation right now, where interest rates go up a lot more than 1%. We'll explore more about this in the next scene, where we delve into the impact of larger interest rate hikes and the role of mortgage term lengths on house prices. Stay tuned! What happens if interest rates jump from 2% to 6%? With this larger interest rate hike, the impact on the monthly mortgage payments for our example houses priced at $300,000 and $500,000 would be quite dramatic. When the interest rate goes from 2% to 6%, the monthly payment for a $300,000 house skyrockets from $1,226 to roughly $1,798. That's a staggering increase of 47%. Now consider a $500,000 house. The monthly payment rises from $2,043 to around $3,003, mirroring that same 47% increase. Now, you might be thinking, that's a pretty steep climb. How can I keep my monthly payment the same? Well, let's crunch some numbers to find out. To maintain the $1,226 monthly payment for a $300,000 house at a 6% interest rate, the house price would need to be slashed down to approximately $200,000. That's a significant decrease in the home's value. Similarly, to keep the $2,043 monthly payment for a $500,000 house, the price would need to be reduced to roughly $330,000. That's quite a drop, isn't it? So you see, even larger interest rate increases can have a significant effect on home affordability. As interest rates rise, home buyers' purchasing power diminishes, leading to a reduction in home prices to maintain the same level of affordability. This is a crucial concept to understand, especially for those interested in real estate, as it highlights the delicate balance between interest rates and house prices. It's a dance, really. As one goes up, the other must come down to maintain equilibrium. Even larger interest rate increases can have a completely drastic and significant effect on home affordability. For old time's sake, let's reminisce about the 80s and talk about what happens if interest rates jump from 2% to 12%. This incredible interest rate hike would have a profound effect on the monthly mortgage payments for our example. Houses priced at $300,000 and $500,000. When the interest rate goes from 2% to 12%, the monthly payment for a $300,000 doesn't just skyrocket, it shots past the moon and into stratosphere from $1,226 to roughly $2,850. That's a staggering increase of 130%. To maintain the $1,226 monthly payment for a $300,000 house at a 12% interest rate, the house price would need to be cut all the way down to approximately $125,000. And if you think these numbers are bad, just wait until you hear how much value a $500,000 house loses at 12% interest rates compared to 2%. When the interest rate goes from 2% to 12%, the monthly payment for a $500,000 house goes from $2,043 with 2% to $4,800 with 12% interest. Again, that's a staggering increase of 130%. Similarly, to keep the $2,043 monthly payment at 12%, a $500,000 house would need the price to be reduced drastically. So much actually, it's all the way down to $200,000. Mortgage term lengths can lead to a delayed reaction to interest rate increases in real estate. The length of a mortgage term can be a game changer when it comes to reacting to interest rate fluctuations. Let's take a moment to understand the difference between fixed rate and variable rate mortgages. With a fixed rate mortgage, the interest rate is set for the entire term of the loan. This means your monthly payment stays the same over the life of the loan, regardless of what happens in the financial markets. It's like having a shield that protects you from the storm of fluctuating interest rates. On the other hand, a variable rate mortgage, as the name suggests, has an interest rate that can change over time. This type of mortgage is tied to an index, such as the US prime rate or the London interbank offered rate, LIBOR, and will fluctuate as these rates change. If the index rate goes up, your mortgage interest rate and monthly payment will go up. Conversely, if the index rate goes down, your mortgage rate and payment will drop. Now here's a crucial point to consider. Many Americans have taken advantage of historically low interest rates in recent years to lock in fixed-rate mortgages. These homeowners are now sitting pretty with low monthly payments, and they're unlikely to want to move or refinance their homes now that interest rates are on the rise. This reluctance to move or refinance could lead to a shortage of homes on the market, especially in popular areas. In the short term, this lack of inventory could actually push house prices higher, even as interest rates rise. It's a bit of a paradox, but it's one that's entirely possible given the current economic climate. However, over the long term, as we've seen earlier, sustained higher interest rates must eventually lead to a decrease in house prices. It's a balancing act between supply and demand, interest rates and affordability. So, there you have it. This can lead to a shortage of inventory in certain places and in the short term may even drive up prices. But remember, the real estate market is always in motion, always adjusting. And as savvy real estate enthusiasts, we need to keep our eyes on these shifts and adapt our strategies accordingly. Hey there, amazing viewers. If you're finding value in the financial insights and topics we discuss on this channel, I'd like to ask for your support, and I just want you to know your feedback means the world to us. First, please consider giving this video a thumbs up if you found it informative or helpful. Liking the video not only shows your appreciation, but also helps others discover this content. If you haven't already, I'd love for you to become a part of our community by hitting that subscribe button. Subscribing is your way of saying, I believe in what you're doing, and I want to see more. It's a small click, but it makes a big difference. Your support through likes and subscriptions enables us to enhance the quality of our videos and, more importantly, bring you even more high-quality financial content. We're committed to working hard to deliver the best insights, and your engagement drives us to do better. Lastly, don't forget to leave a comment below. Share your thoughts, questions, or any video suggestions you might have. We value your input, and it helps us tailor our content to what you want to see. Now let's recap what we've learned about the 1% to 10% rule. This rule is a simple yet powerful tool in the world of real estate, illustrating how a 1% increase in interest rates can lead to a 10% decrease in house prices, all to maintain the same level of affordability for home buyers. We've seen this rule in action with concrete examples. When the interest rate increased from 2% to 3%, the monthly mortgage payment for a $300,000 house jumped by 17%. To keep the same payment, the house price would need to drop to around $270,000. The same principle applied to a $500,000 house, where to maintain the monthly payment, the price would need to drop to $450,000. We've also explored the impact of larger interest rate hikes. When the interest rate climbed from 2% to 6%, the monthly payment for a $300,000 house skyrocketed by 47%. To keep this payment stable, the house price would have to plummet to around $200,000. Similarly, for a $500,000 house, the price would need to fall to $330,000. The role of mortgage term lengths in this equation was also highlighted. We've learned that fixed-rate mortgages offer stability with a set interest rate for the entire term, while variable-rate mortgages can fluctuate with market interest rates. This can lead to a delayed reaction to interest rate increases in real estate. So the 1% to 10% rule is not just a mathematical equation, but a real-world concept that can have tangible effects on the housing market. It's a reflection of the delicate balance between interest rates and house prices, and the constant dance they do to maintain homebuyer affordability. Knowledge of this rule can empower you as a homebuyer or investor, helping you make informed decisions in the face of fluctuating interest rates.